All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Friday night, and in the headlines, NBA player Isaiah Thomas, not to be confused with the older Isaiah Thomas who made his name with the Pistons in the 80s, but the younger Isaiah Thomas who more recently played at the University of Washington and really made a name for himself in his time with the Boston Celtics. He lost his sister back then. He's in the headlines because he's lost another sister. And I want to talk about this buzzing in the headlines today, the anniversary of the JFK assassination. Of course, JFK very connected to Boston, like Isaiah Thomas. JFK number 35, the 35th president killed on I-35. This making the rounds right now while Isaiah Thomas is 35 years old. And of course, it comes right after his former team visits Joe Biden, the nation's second Catholic president whose Secret Service name is Celtic. I just want to talk about the very redundant patterns. You might recall after Isaiah Thomas's sister died, he had a Celtic record for points scored in a playoff game. He became second place all time for most points in a playoff game by the Celtics, only behind John Havlicek. And again, he scored 53 on his sister's birthday right after she had passed. And that was 17 days after her death. And of course, we call the NBA the 17 League. You know, so many 17 rituals with the Celtics and the NBA period over the years. A blatant one was John Havlicek, who has the all-time record for most points scored in a playoff game by the Celtics. But of course, John Havlicek wore number 17, and he died 17 days after his birthday on the same day that Joe Biden announced he was running for president, when, again, his Secret Service name is Celtic. You might recall when Joe Biden was talking about the Boston Celtics he wasn't talking about the Boston Celtics, excuse me. He was talking about the Uvalde shooting in Texas where JFK got it. And you might recall when Joe Biden went down to Texas to talk about that as well on JFK's birthday, May 29th. That was 5 days after the shooting on May 24th. But Joe Biden, shortly after that, game one of the NBA Finals, was talking about how something needs to be done about these mass shootings in schools. And next thing you knew, Matthew McConaughey was holding up green Converse like the Celtics work. But you might recall Joe Biden was given that speech, game one of the NBA Finals, and the Celtics came back and scored 17 unanswered points to win game one versus the Warriors before they ended up losing the finals to the Warriors. And again, Joe Biden has the same birthday as Robert Kennedy, not the one who's alive right now, but his father, RFK, who was killed in 1968. They're both born November 20th. Joe Biden was born on the 17th birthday of RFK, which is interesting because RFK's death date, June 6th, is the same day that the Celtics were established in history, June 6th. And RFK died on their 22nd birthday, the Celtics. Very special number because Boston equals 22 in Gematria, like basketball. But yeah, I want to talk about all of the obvious ritualism with Isaiah Thomas losing his sister and how it clearly is connected to the Boston Celtics, who he made his name with. He now plays for the Phoenix Suns, and there's some history there with the Celtics and the Suns and famous players that have gone between teams. And of course, with this whole Catholic connection, you know, the Catholic Church does worship the sun. But here, let's go through this piece by piece. Let's talk about that. We'll go back and look at the 2017 death of his other sister and then him scoring that record high 17 days later. And we'll also talk more about the ritual of the Celtics visiting Joe Biden at the White House, how perfectly coordinated it was with their star player, Jason Tatum, as well as their coach, Joe Mazzulla. I mean, it just couldn't have been any more perfect. And then also found out something mind-blowing about Thursday night football. We always talk about 35 Thursday. This is going to blow your mind. I mean, this is one of the more interesting things I've ever seen on a 35 Thursday. Okay, congrats to the winners, everyone who cashed big time on Nick Chubb with the first touchdown of the game in the multi-touchdown game. Nick Chubb, 35th pick of the draft. We knew he was in store for a monster game last night. And, anyhow. Just a reminder about this Gematria car crash, right? Because Isaiah Thomas has now lost a sister in a car crash, and the other sister, it's unclear what she died from. He's grieving on social media, asking God why he would take his two sisters from him. And, Isaiah Thomas, if you come across this this post, again, a lot of people in the world of entertainment lose their own lives as well as their loved ones who are close to them. If you don't know what's going on and you're being sincere, maybe you should go back and listen to LeBron's interview with JJ Redick before Redick became the coach of the Lakers. LeBron doubled down on his statement when JJ Redick asked him what the secret was to a long, successful career in the NBA. LeBron said, not once, but 2 times, you must sacrifice your loved ones. So unless you're playing coy in the media, you might want to look into what's going on in the world of entertainment because this stuff's happening all the time. But again, if you're new here, Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Again, 4 base ciphers of the English language. Alphabetic order with numerology, reverse alphabetic order with numerology. And you can see that the sister who just died, LaQuisha Baldrip, her name equals 71. I should have put up there, Celtics equals 71. You all remember when Bill Walton died 666 days after Bill Russell. But he died at 71, the same day the Celtics advanced to the NBA Finals. And in case you missed it, the Celtics are on a road trip in D.C. as this game, or as this ritual happens. It must be in the other post. The Celtics were 7-1 on the road at the time of this death. 7-1 away. They play the Wizards today on the anniversary of JFK's assassination. Go figure, right? But yeah, these are the 4 base ciphers, and we've talked about this many times before. Car crash and Catholic. If you want to go back and look at how Joe Biden's wife and daughter died in a car crash in accordance with these same exact numbers the year he became senator-elect, you can go back and take a look at that. It's the exact same thing. And it's been the same thing many a times before. These are recurring patterns. But loses a sister in a car crash, and now another sister. And the news broke today about the sister's death. She died on Joe Biden's birthday. Again, the guy whose Secret Service name is Celtic. The news, TMZ actually broke the news yesterday, the same day the Celtics were at the White House. A lot of other sources broke the news today. Yesterday would have been the 289th day of Isaiah Thomas's age. Today would be 289 days after his birthday. The thing about 289 is that number has a square root. The square root of 289 is 17. Again, his last sister died in 2017, and then he had the tribute on her birthday 17 days later, meaning she died 17 days before her own birthday. Again, huge number with the NBA. N is the 14th letter, B is the second, A is the first. You add it up, NBA is 17. And so many rituals. I mean, we told you day one when LeBron went from the 17th state, Ohio, to the Lakers on the first day of the 7th month. We told you right then and there, LeBron will win the Lakers their 17th championship in his 17th season. Exactly what he did in the year Kobe died at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age, traveling from Catholic Mass, synced with the Pope's 83rd birthday, kind of like how Bear Bryant died on the same day in history as Kobe Bryant, January 26th in 83. For the record, helicopter crash equals 83 like murder, also like football. Bear Bryant was the football great coach. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. Again, Kobe supposedly done in a helicopter crash, which was foretold on Comedy Central the year he retired on 16/11, like the King James Bible came out in 1611, and King equals 41 like Kobe Bryant, and LeBron won the finals that year, 41 weeks after his own birthday on Father-Daughter Day in the year that Kobe died. Anyway, the point is these rituals and understanding the numbers, you see that they are just that, rituals, not accidents. They are tragedies, but they're not accidents. These are murder rituals. That's why there's songs about this. Gematria, the killing name, is a song. Look it up. Murder by Numbers by the Police is a song. If you're a gas station attendant spamming everywhere that Gematria is not English, why is there a metal song in English about how Gematria corresponds with America and America is a killing name? And why are these rituals going on every day in this country? And again, why is there a song about murdering by the code of ABC is 1, 2, 3 when the practice of Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words? And why does this stuff line up every day? Again, if you can't answer those questions, just shut up. I'm not even going to get into the Isaiah Thomas equaling 201. It's a calling card of the Jesuits. That's who runs the show. That's who gave us the calendar and the language. Here, just to go back in time to his sister's death in 2017. Notice that when he had that huge game for the Celtics over the Wizards on his sister's birthday, it was the Celtics and Wizards, right? This news is making the rounds as the Celtics play the Wizards again. So just ask yourself that just right there. I mean, what are the odds of that alone? Isn't that a weird parallel? Notice there were 129 points scored in that game. For the record, 129 is the number 201 in base 8 counting. The Jesuit Order 201, like Isaiah Thomas. Georgetown 129, the first Jesuit university established in D.C. And you know what? I didn't even check. They're playing tonight. The game should be over. Yeah, it's over. So, all right, Celtics win 108-96 tonight and become 13-3 as we imagined they would. And we'll get to why that matters in a moment. Again, president, White House, and government all equal 133. When they met the president, Missoula was on 133 wins. But here, going back in time, Isaiah Thomas, he took 33 shots that night, dropped 53 points, and again, his sister's name, China Thomas, equals 53. She died in Federal Way, which is just south of Seattle near Tacoma, where they're from. And for the record, Tacoma equals 17. But dead in a car crash in Federal Way was the story. He was a part of the UW Huskies basketball team. Tacoma's also 53, the city they grew up in. Again, big way with just the alphabetic order. Tacoma's 53, alphabetic order in numerology. Tacoma's 17. Just like you see right here, Tacoma NBA. She died on Jackie Robinson Day. Remember, Jackie Robinson's son died in a car crash at age 24. Now here we are in 2024 as he loses his second sister. And his sister died in King County. Isaiah Thomas also played on the Kings. They point out here that, again, second highest point total in Celtics playoff history behind John Havlicek, who would eventually go on to die in a 17 ritual. He hadn't even died yet when this happened. And then they have to point out that he scored 86 points in the first 2 games of the series. Remember, both blood sacrifice and human sacrifice equate to 86. And when you run it the other way, they both equal 67. Isaiah Thomas's full name equates to 67 as well. But just over and over, the same numbers. Same numbers. So, and the perfect rituals. I mean, just dropping 53 after his sister, China Thomas, dies at 53. This was the Celtics' 71st season that this happened. Celtics 71, Havlicek 71. Again, like I said, they came into Washington tonight 7-1 on the road after losing Bill Walton at 71 the day they advanced to the finals. Did we lose the... How come there's no images? Okay, and here's the post from when his sister died. The video is unavailable because the channels have been taken down. Like 20-some channels have been deleted. Again, just point out the same things there. Car crash, Celtics, Havlicek, all 71 in the 71st season. Car crash. I mean, just point out the same things. Car crash, Havlicek, Celtics, King James. Again, LeBron, of course. So many rituals with LeBron and King James. Like winning the only finals for the Cavs on the real King James' birthday. And you know, they even brought Tom Brady in the story, another guy who had 1,035 rituals in his career. But from his, there it is right there. From his birthday to his sister's death was 67 days. And it looks like I must have missed it at the time, but here, let me just pull it up real quick so you can see. I'm surprised I missed that back then. His full name, Isaiah Jamar Thomas, is 67. And he lost his sister 67 days after his birthday. His full name's also 113, like the National Basketball Association, like Boston's the 617 area code, and 617 is the 113th prime. But 67 in that same cipher, blood sacrifice 67, human sacrifice 67, and his sister's name had some interesting numbers. The Tacoma woman who died in a one-car accident on Interstate 5, again, basketball, 5-on-5 in Federal Way Saturday morning is China J. Thomas, the sister of NBA star Isaiah Thomas, according to family friends. The wreck occurred at 5 a.m. on I-5. You know what I mean? Does that not sound numerological in light of a guy who plays in the sport of 5-on-5? And keep in mind, he's playing in Boston, Massachusetts at the time, which is 55. And you see how Boston, Massachusetts is also 253. That's the 22nd triangular number. If I can get it to come up. Oh, there it is. 22nd triangular. Boston alone's 22 like basketball, like how they went to their 22nd championship in 2022 and fell to 17-5. Golden State 175, like 17-5, just like Pope Francis 175. One of many finals that we called way before it happened from understanding the way they rig it. I guess I did bring up the Jackie Robinson Day connection. Now he lost his son. Oh yeah, there's a few little other details. Yeah, there are other things that are interesting here, but just same. I mean, Cleveland had won 78 games versus the Celtics en route to the NBA Finals, going through Boston. And isn't it funny how in the 78th NBA season, again, the only team in the league whose full name equals 78 is the Boston Celtics. There's 3 teams out of 30 that have a 78 connection: New York, Cleveland, and Boston. They all made the playoffs in the 78 season. Boston won the championship. You know what else is interesting about them being on 202 games played as that ritual was going down? The National Basketball Association. We usually talk about the 113 with the league. It is the 113 league, but it does have the 202 as well when you run it in reverse. So, John Havlicek, just to remind here, again, number 17, died 17 days after his April 8th birthday. And 4/8's a fitting birthday to be a Boston Celtic, because look at it. Boston Celtics, 48, right? Run it in reverse, 78. Boston Celtics also 195. And we'll get to the 156 because his sister just died. His latest sister just died 156 days after the Celtics won the finals. But Robert Kennedy, 195. And again, that was the same day that Joe Biden announced he would run for president, was the same day that Havlicek died. And that's weird. From Biden's last birthday to the death of Havlicek was 156 days. Boston Celtics 156. It's all the familiar patterns. Society of Jesus 191, 79. Right now we're in the time of the 79th NBA season that this ritual is going down. 79 is the 22nd prime, going back to Boston. And again, Catholic and Celtics 46. We're going to have about Joe Mazzulla being at the White House with Biden with the 46 jersey, while on 46 regular season losses with the Celtics. It was a Thursday. It was a Thursday, just like they visited the White House yesterday on a Thursday, right? Just same stuff over and over. Catholic and Thursday. So, so anyway, yeah, that TMZ broke the news last night while the Celtics were visiting Biden at the White House, right? And this should remind you of when Tom Brady and the Patriots were at the White House. Aaron Hernandez was found dead in his jail cell at the same time. We're talking about sports teams from the same city. I mean, this stuff should, it should make everybody go, what is really going on? Aaron Hernandez, And don't forget, TMZ broke the headline that the word Illuminati was painted in blood on Aaron Hernandez's jail cell. But it's a very similar thing. And just like how he was no longer a member of the team, Isaiah Thomas is no longer a member of the Celtics. But when you think of Isaiah Thomas in the NBA, you probably remember him with the Celtics because those were his biggest games, his biggest moments. And again, here we go. Celtics come in 7-1 away, 71. And remember what they did to Bill Walton, who again died 666 days after Bill Russell. Bill Russell died on the last day of the Jesuit Ignatian year, went to Jesuit San Francisco University, died right after the Boston and Warriors championship. He was part of that perfect 71 UCLA season was Bill Walton. Supposedly dead from cancer. And yeah, I mean, just like, it always blows me away how people don't even blink an eye. And anyhow, from Joe Mazzulla, who's the coach of the Celtics' birthday, to them visiting the White House was 144 days later. President Biden 144, Jesuit Order 144. As we told you, the whole finals last year was a tribute to the JFK assassination. Remember, JFK died 144 days from meeting with the Pope. RFK, the finals began on his death anniversary. RFK died at 1:44 a.m. Jesuit Georgetown simulated Biden would win the election June 12, 2020, 144 days before the election. Trump's Jesuit educated. This year, the election was 144 days after his birthday. But again, just happened to be 144 days after the coach's birthday that they visit President Biden. Jesuit educated. Mazzulla went in there with a record of 133-46 for the Celtics in the regular season. White House, government, and president all equal 133. Catholic, Thursday, and Celtics all equal 46. JFK dead at 46. Joe Biden, number 46, elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, inaugurated on the 35th day of the Pope's age. Beau Biden dead at 46. Hunter Biden born on the 35th day of the year. On and on and on. Now look at Jason Tatum when he visited the White House. His record in the regular season was 351 and 177. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., 351. The Jesuit Order, 177. Jason Tatum, including the postseason, 419 wins. 419 is the 81st prime number. President Biden, 81, the guy who supposedly got a record 81 million votes and passed the torch to Kamala at age 81, as we predicted right when they took office. After predicting the election successfully, we predicted how he would pass the torch to Kamala at 81. And tonight, the Celtics become 8-1 on the road by winning in D.C. Right after being at the White House on the anniversary of JFK's assassination. Don't forget, ritual equals 81. Don't forget when Kamala got the reins passed to her, she supposedly raised a record $81 million in 24 hours. Kind of like how Obama endorsed 81 candidates on August 1st, right before Biden began running for president. But again, perfectly scripted sports. Manchurian athletes born and bred to be and named accordingly. I mean, do you know any Jasons in the world who have a Y in their name? I've known a lot of Jasons, never with a Y. Jason Tatum spelled that way equates to Massachusetts, equates to Kennedy, equates to NBA Finals. And again, about last year's being finals, a tribute to both the assassinations of RFK and JFK. Again, it was the 78th season, Kennedy 78. And don't forget the Stanley Cup Finals. You see how Kennedy equals 111 as well? Recall, last year was the first time ever that NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs started on the exact same day. We predicted the Knicks would win with 111 that day, and they did. But again, the playoffs began on the 111th day of the year. The finals were a tribute to JFK, and it was obvious because you had Dallas and Boston. It was a little harder to see what they did with the NHL, but it was another tribute to the Kennedy family. The Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup, and they play next to Parkland, Florida. JFK died in Parkland Hospital in Dallas in the 214 area code, and that's why you had the Parkland school shooting the other year on 214. Remember, their logo is the exact same as the Philadelphia Eagles, and that was right after the Eagles won the Super Bowl in Minnesota, and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas is from Minnesota. In Minneapolis is the 612 area code, and that's another number that's all the time in shootings. And that shooting was 612 days after the Pulse nightclub shooting on 612, which also became a storyline in the NBA playoffs because LeBron was wearing an Undertaker t-shirt the day after the shooting, and that became a big attention if you were following the NBA that day. Anyhow, the point is scripted sports, scripted rituals, a lot of people born and bred to be. Jason Tatum, definitely one of them. Jason Tatum, 33. Jason Tatum, 66, like the Celtics establishment anniversary is 6'6". Robert Kennedy, 66. Sirhan, 66, and so on. There's actually multiple overlaps there, isn't there, with a lot of those things. Quite interesting. You know, the Celtics winning with 108 tonight, Dealey Plaza's 108, right? It's the anniversary of JFK getting shot in Dealey Plaza on I-35 as number 35. And 108 is not an arbitrary number. It's a number that has everything to do with geometry and this study of Gematria. If you guys don't know this, the plural, like if you have a plural match in ciphers, the terminology for that within the study is Gematria, which is also 108. And Gematria means geometry and language. Remember, like the relationship with the sun, moon, and earth. They say the diameter of the sun times 108 is the distance from the earth to the sun. And they say the diameter of the moon times 108 is the distance from the moon to the earth. And it's that ratio that allows for perfect eclipses to happen, even though the sun is much greater than the moon. And of course, 108 is in all kinds of spiritualities, but not an arbitrary number at all. And the Celtics just happened to score 108 on the anniversary of JFK getting killed. But yeah, this stuff goes on all the time. I mean, that's the thing too. It's just we're here year after year. For the record, 351 is the 26th triangular number. Celtics equals 26. Game is 26. Again, cancer is 26. What they said Bill Walton died from. And what did Bill Walton die in the time of cancer? I forget. Bill Walton date of death. I would imagine that was in the time of cancer. No, it wasn't quite cancer yet. The finals were in the time of. Or hold on. No, actually, the finals weren't quite in the time of cancer yet either, were they? It had been at the end of Gemini. But again, 351, 26th triangular number. Big game number, big Celtics number. You know, dominant sports franchises, dominant athletes have the 26 encoded. Yankees 26, Jordan 26, Bryant 26, Kobe dead on the 26. If you ever read my first book, Letters and Numbers, the first chapter is about how in Hebrew, the four-letter name of God equates to 26, just like how in English, God equals 26. And again, for some of you, athletes are worshipped as gods. For some of you, their religion is sport. And I mean, overwhelmingly, that's true for especially males in this country. Growing up, like I was stereotypical American. My whole life was about sports, playing sports, practicing, watching sports, wanting to be a pro athlete. I mean, wish somebody would have told me, hey, man, you get to that stage, get ready to get rid of your mom. So remember the other year, NBA draft, they were giving out necklaces to all the newly drafted players with a medallion of a picture of their dead parents. Some of them had a medallion of both parents because they both already died. It's like, is anyone watching this? How many 18, 19, 20-year-old guys on average have already lost a parent and both parents? Almost everybody in the first round got one. And then another thing is like, are these backstories even true? Did these people even have parents, or is this all Wilt Chamberlain seed? You know what I mean? Wilt Chamberlain slept with 30,000 women's the story. That's a lot of seed out there. All these 7-foot guys who don't know who their dad is. Talk about breeding. But yeah, okay, check this out, you guys. So last night was one of the. So last night for 35 Thursday, we always write on 35. Smashed with the first touchdown for the 35th pick, Nick Chubb. We thought he'd have a multi-touchdown game. Smash. Again, you put that that together plus an anytime touchdown. I mean, that's a parlay you can put together. You can turn $5 into a couple $100. And this is what I teach people to do. Make smart bets, never bet the house, don't get greedy. But what's rare is that the 35 fails us in the outcome of the game. And especially when it's in the QB stat. I mean, that hasn't happened in years. But it happened last night. The typical 35 Thursday did not happen. Russell Wilson, who was 35 years old, could have got his 35th win in primetime and kept Jameis Winston on 35 wins. So I was a little bit perplexed that didn't happen. Because, I mean, it's been years since that game outcome didn't come through with a strong 35 read like that. But this is what they did. So last night, the score of the game was 19-24. And Jameis Winston became 19-24 at home as a starter. So my initial thought was, okay, we know that the way they sync up sports and history and politics, and we're right around, an election and the Celtics being at the White House. So I said, let me go back and look at what happened in the 1924 election. And lo and behold, you guys, here's what we found in real time today in the Patreon stream reviewing where we might have went wrong with this. You guys have to remember, the Constitution's birthday is September 17th. The Constitution's birthday is 133 years before the NFL's birthday on September 17th. Remember, football equals 133, like government, like White House, like president. The face of the league right now, Mahomes, he's from White House, Texas. His birthday is also September 17th. But anyway, in 1924, there was the 35th U.S. presidential election, okay? And would you guess where the convention was? The GOP convention. GOP won the presidency that year. Calvin Coolidge won the presidency of the 35th election. Would you believe where the convention was? If you don't know where last night's game was, it was in Cleveland. So if I had to give you one guess of where the 1924 GOP convention was, what city would you guess? If you're guessing something other than Cleveland, might be time to head back down the hallway to the Special Olympian classroom. But again, 1924, the GOP convention was in Cleveland. And keep in mind, that was 92 years before 2016 when the GOP convention was in Cleveland, where Trump had it before he became the winner of this year's election. The split term, first split term president and only other one other than Grover Cleveland, something we've been talking about for years. But here's what gets wild about this. Calvin Coolidge, the Republican, won, right? And again, just so you can see, Jameis Winston, 19-24 as a starter. Steelers lost 19-24. We did have the over for this game. The over did hit. Cleveland Browns does equal 83, like election. And we knew that was a threat for the Steelers. And we thought the line for this game didn't make any sense. Why were the Steelers only a 3.5 point favorite? Normally when a team's 8-2 and the other team's 2-8, which is what they were before the game, usually that's like at least a touchdown favorite. We knew this did look like a trap game. My first advice was you might want to take the Steelers with the points, but I am still, I was very surprised that the 35 Thursday typical narrative didn't come in until now, seeing that, okay, they figured out another way, a much deeper way to pay tribute to 35. Again, Thursday 35, Nick Chubb, who we knew was going to smash, was the 35th pick of the draft. Second time this year, you've had a guy who was the 35th pick of the draft playing on Thursday. And both times we had that player for the first touchdown. The other one was Javonte Williams. Now Nick Chubb, those are big payouts. And that's why you don't have to win them all to be a consistent winner with this knowledge. A lot of people made good money last night. A lot of people would have made a lot better money had the Steelers won the game. But again, if you were smart with your bets, you came out way ahead. But yeah, look at this about Calvin Coolidge, who won that 35th election. Dead at 60. Isn't that interesting? Dead in 33 as well, like Cleveland's 33. But of course, we just had the 60th U.S. presidential election. Donald Trump, who had a gazillion 60 rituals en route to winning the rig thing. His name has the 60. And then what's interesting is the president after Calvin Coolidge was Herbert Hoover. And we've been talking about for years how Kamala Harris was born the same day that Herbert Hoover died, October 20th, 1964. And again, how Gerald Ford said in the Herbert Hoover Library on October 18th, 1989, he said that the first female president will not be elected. She will be a VP to an old man who will die in office and not finish his term, giving us the first female president. Again, still time for Joe Biden to not finish his term. He could resign, like the head of Kamala's communications asked him to do, so that we can have the first female president, saying it's long overdue. That very well could be the way it happens. The cooties virus equals 82, and Biden just turned 82. Um, there's rumors he's going to be impeached. I mean, that could happen. They could remove him because they say he's not competent. There's so many ways it could happen between now and January 20th. But yeah, again, just rig sports and politics. We've been demonstrating this in spades for over a decade. And I mean, like, again, you'll see this all the time. You pay attention to the National Fix League, where QB record will become the score of the game. This happened earlier this year with the Saints blowing out the Cowboys 44-19. Saints equals 44-19. Dak Prescott became 44-19 at home in that game. And remember, Derek Carr, the quarterback of the Saints, became 74-88 for his career in that game. And Oswald's from New Orleans. And like I told you guys the other night, I said, watch, New Orleans looks like they're going to fall to 4-11, and the Mavericks are going to become 6-3 at home. Oswald from New Orleans shot JFK from 411 Elm Street in 63. So always with these rigged sports leagues. And again, to explain it for the millionth time, why, it's a logical connection for why. All of the major American sports are credited to Freemasonry. Again, football credited to Walter Camp. He was also in Skull and Bones at Yale. Baseball credited to Abner Doubleday. Basketball credited to Naismith. So Masonry is connected to all of these sports leagues. Its origins. These sports are very specific about numbers. I mean, what's more numbers than sports? They're so stat oriented. Again, they etch on the temple, the Masonic temple, all is number. DC is known as the Masonic City. So Masonry is standing over these things, including the creation of this nation. And Masonry, modern Freemasonry, is a Jesuit creation. The idea of masons and builders goes back to Rome and well beyond that. The Roman Colosseum, bread and circus. Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's familiar with history, I mean, you should see it watching the sports games, the way they do it year after year. And some people are just dopes, like that CT panel. I mean, that's a panel of either really dumb people or some kind of operatives and just out here to dismiss truth and make the truth look dumb. But just very hard-headed people. And you hear it as you drop undeniable facts on that panel, they're all like, I'm never going to believe it. It's like, wow, that is weird. LeBron did win on the road King James final. I still think it's bullshit. It's like, That's not a sincere attitude, and that's not an intelligent attitude. And essentially, that's the whole problem here, you guys. Dumb people is what's holding this work back from changing the world. This work would change the world if people weren't so inept. And there's just no question about that. If people had intelligence, this work would resonate with them in a major way. But see what a dope would be like, oh, but so wait a minute, so you only made a lot of money last night, not a lot of money? Oh, yeah, okay, back to the Special Olympian classroom. Yeah, again, Nick Chubb did everything we imagined he would, and we've been cashing on patterns like this a lot. And like I said, the typical 35, that hasn't missed for years. So we had to figure out what they were doing, and lo and behold, see, brain dead person be like, okay, you're right, that is weird. 1924, it was the 35th election. The GOP convention was in Cleveland. What are the odds of these things? And hold on. It looks like I forgot to put the screenshot in here. 1924 election, just so you can see it with your own eyes. Cleveland. The Republican convention was held in Cleveland, Ohio from June 10th to the 12th. What's interesting is from June 10th to the ritual last night was a span of 165 days. And remember, Cleveland has that 165 connection like Scottish Rite does. And Trump's birthday is the 165th day of the year. So they also fit that in with the ritual last night. The 1924 Democratic National Convention was also in New York City. Interesting. Trump land. And it began on Freemasonry's birthday, June 24th. Go figure. So. All right. Yeah, just to remind you also about what they did after this year's NBA Finals. Right after the finals concluded, Massachusetts had a 911 outage, and most people missed the joke. 911 was created by AT&T in 1968. AT&T is headquartered in Dallas. So right after Massachusetts beats Texas or Dallas, the state of Massachusetts has a 911 outage. And remember, that happened the very next day. Boston's the 617 area code. The finals ended on June 17th. By the way, did you see that they took a baby to the White House with the Celtics? Look at this. All right, so this story from the Boston Globe, this is part of the story that he went to the White House with the Celtics yesterday. This baby who has the same spelling as Drew Holiday on the Celtics, he spells it J-R-U-E. He was born at 6:17 p.m. on 6/17. Again, 617 is the 113th prime number. The National Basketball Association equals 113, like Dallas equals 113. But the very next day, outage. And there was a date with 68 numerology, like 911 was made the code in 1968. Same year World Trade Center construction began. Same year RFK was assassinated. On the Celtics' birthday was the day he died, June 6, 68. That was the day the finals began this year, June 6th. But basketball and championship 68. Remember what they just did to Dikembe Mutombo, RIP. He died exactly 68 weeks after Denver won the finals, and Denver equals 68 as well. And Dikembe Mutombo equals 58, dead at 58 before the Nuggets' 58th season. But Jason Tatum won the finals with his 68th playoff win. Again, we're being played with. How many people did that inconvenience? I mean, elderly people. I'd be surprised if elderly people died because of this. Elderly people, Massachusetts, a massive state. Sometimes if you can't get there quick enough, elderly people have falls and it happens. Time is of the essence. 911's down because they're playing a game with our lives after the rigged sports game. Paying tribute to the game they got away with the JFK assassination. That's how these people are flaunting everything they've gotten away with too. Paying tribute to their history. So I realize I must not have finished off the first post that I started with because I don't remember talking about some things I meant to discuss. This death of Isaiah Thomas's sister. I wanted to point out again from the Celtics winning the finals to his sister's death on Biden's birthday, who again his Secret Service name is Celtic, was 156 days. Just like how Havlicek died the day he announced 156 days. What was it, from Joe Biden's birthday? And again, his name, Isaiah Jamar Thomas, 113, like the National Basketball Association, like how the finals ended on 617 in Boston, the 617 area code. And you might recall the Mavericks outscored the Celtics by 12 for the series. If you had 1 through 12 together, it equals 78. Yesterday was the first game of week 12 of the NFL season. Cleveland equals 78. Cleveland kept home teams on 78 losses for the season. Jameis Winston got his 12th rushing touchdown of his career. Remember the Celtics, 106 is the 78th composite number. They won game 1 with 106. They won game 3 with 106. Or hold on, I'm going backwards. My bad. They won game 1 with 107 and game 2 with 105. So the average score was 212. Which is an average of 106. And we talked about 107 before game 1 because JFK would have been 107 years old and shooting's 107. I mean, that was a conversation we had before game 1 was even played. You can go back and watch the stream. But the average of games 1 and 2 was 106 points. Game 3, they scored 106. Then the closeout game, they scored 106. Again, 106 is the 78th composite number. Kennedy, 78. Boston Celtics, 78. NBA Finals, 78. Closeout for the 78th season. And the game the Mavs won, they won by 38 points. Mavericks equals 38. When JFK was announced dead, Walter Cronkite said some 38 minutes ago the nation's president died. Keep in mind, Isaiah Thomas's birthday is the 38th day of the year, February 7th. Death, murder, killing, RIP, all 38. But let's see here. His sister died exactly 41 weeks after his birthday, like it was a 4-1 series, like Dallas equals 41. The city established in 1841, and Dallas also has the 113 connection. Just like 617 is the 113th prime number. They get closed out on 617. And again, I know we have a good amount of CT's audience now watching us over here. I wasn't aware of Isaiah Thomas's death earlier today. And again, his latest sister's now died in a 17 ritual after his last sister died in 2017, 17 days from her birthday. Again, it's funny. I was talking about this earlier today. Just John Havlicek and the Boston Celtics and Joe Biden. Again, Havlicek dying 17 days after his birthday, the day Joe Biden announced he's running for president. And again, I mean, how can you look at these things? So here, this panel keeps trying to make fun of the work each day. They can't get enough of it. And this guy CT, he can't debate or deny anything. All he'll come back to is, yeah, okay, that's true too, but I still think it's all bullshit. Again, he'll say, I'll never believe it. As long as this is people's mentality, we will continue to be ruled over by evil tyrants who manipulate and exploit us all. And again, just here earlier today, talking about similar things.
Your numbers just go in a circle.
Well, one more thing, CT. I know you're a basketball guy. I was showing how the whole NBA Finals was a tribute to JFK. What are the odds the Celtics show up at the White House the day before the JFK anniversary of his assassination? And by the way, look up Joe Mazzulla's regular season record right now. He's 133-46. President equals 133. White House 133. Government 133. Celtics equals 46. JFK killed at 46. Joe Biden, number 46. Secret Service named Celtic. Hey, look it up. John Havlicek, number 17, died 17 days after his birthday on Joe Biden's same day that he announced he was running for president when his Secret Service name is Celtic. I mean, how is that bullshit? I need an argument for how these things are a coincidence, because I've been laying out what the NBA Finals was going to be last year way before it happened, how it was all a tribute to JFK, and now you got him at the White House with Joe Mazzulla with the perfect record the day before the assassination anniversary. Tell me where the bullshit is. That's what I want to know.
That's not Gematria.
I don't need to hear this little weirdo creep.
Hold on, Cuts.
By the way, just so you know, if you ever got the heads up, Cuts, that truth refugee that you're messing with, they are suing your ass because you used a registered trademark. I'm giving you a heads up. You better watch out.
Brother, whatever. Fuck off.
Okay, well, you're going to find out the hard way. You're going to find out the hard way. You're about to get sued. They're not playing around.
Oh my God. Quack.
Okay, I gave you a heads up.
Hold on for a second. Zach, I think he's frozen.
Yeah, he tried to move his mobile, I think.
That came for Zach's phone.
Look, one thing I want to quickly say with Zach, although he's gone, it's a shame I didn't get to say to him, but if he does hear this in the grapevine. Zach, the reason someone like Chaotic or myself think that you're like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever is, it's in the sense that, look, I have so much hours per day. I have so many hours I have to work, so many hours I have to sleep, so many hours I have to masturbate. And so it leaves a very tiny amount of window of opportunity for me to pay attention to things of value.
So, I mean, these are the kind of people that are on this show, and this guy just sits on, I mean, these guys stream for 10 hours a day and talk nothing but bullshit. But because they are attacking the work, it does present an opportunity for debate. It's just you can't get a serious response from them. And by the way, if you are out there, Cuts, Truth Refugee is going to sue you. That's not me. The people who have that network have money, and they don't like what you're doing. You're using their registered trademark, and they're coming after you. So you can say quack right now, but you might end up with some legal problems. Heads up. Yeah, you're going to probably lose another account and then you're going to cry about it and say you're the victim. There's consequences to illegal behavior. But anyway, I mean, this is what's wrong with humanity. This guy just said he'd rather jerk off than know about what's going on in the world. And imagine just like hearing what I just, and plus I was talking before that too. This is all you can come back with? All you can come back with. You don't think it's weird. All of these things happening. And then here we are later in the day. And this keeps happening with this panel. Every time we talk about something, there's a headline that breaks later in the day that's like, oh my God, it's the same thing. Now it's Isaiah Thomas with another sister in another 17 ritual. So, no, again, you guys, humanity is full of losers. Here's what I'd like. I'm going to drop a link. I want to be quick and efficient with this because I need to get back to helping out Sweet Lady with Little One. But I'd like people who are out there who've benefited from this knowledge. Because see what this panel does is none of the information registers in their brain, and then they all keep coming on here and just doing the same thing that all the trolls do. Okay, you predicted so many things. Predict something right now. Predict something right now. It's like, dude, I don't need to prove anything else with predictions. I literally have a way better prediction record than like anybody who's ever walked on this earth. And if you can't prove that to be false, then just shut up. I can go back and dig through all of my information that I put out for over a decade and prove how many times I've been right on the money about things that are super important to all of us. Again, that's a indisputable fact. But yeah, I'd like to hear from the people who have benefited from the knowledge, who know about the resume, and just for all the haters out there and, you know, people with cognitive dissonance and people who can't accept the truth, I'd like to see more people come on and let it be known what is the case. And if those people aren't out there, then maybe I'll just consider retiring because I must just be talking to people who have nothing but wax in their ears, and it must just be the United States of amnesia where nobody can remember anything past Monday. And that's not, I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem. If we cannot find people who can help get out the message of what has been exposed with this work and what should be much more known by many more people, then, you know, maybe it is just time to retire. So I dropped the link if you want to hop on. And yeah, again, there's a lot of things like this in our community. Again, this knowledge allows you to win in ways that almost nobody's ever won before. And people are doing it all the time in our community, turning small bills into stacks of big ones. Not really anybody else in the history of the world with that's been able to do that at any sports book. So, and that's why, because of what we've been doing, we've changed the game a little bit. And we did put 5 dimes out of business. Again, I had the whole world on that Lakers future for LeBron's 17th season, and 5 dimes had to announce they weren't paying out for it, and they were out of business next thing you knew. What's up, Open Up?
Hey, what's up, Zach? I mean, your work speaks for itself, but just talking about last night.
Oh, hold on. I got the audio setting messed up. I guarantee it. Let me fix it. You're good.
Okay. So, yeah, your work speaks for itself. And just talking about last night, Thursday night football, I think we only talked about one guy to get the first touchdown, and that was Nick Chubb, and he did get that.
And that follows the last primetime game where we had Mixon to get the first touchdown and another multi-touchdown game, and Cowboys to win by 20 plus, or not Cowboys, but Texans, all big hitters. And Sunday Night Football, I know we had T. Higgins and Jamar Chase for 2 touchdowns and the Chargers to win, and on and on and on and on and on. And again, these are very lucrative bets you can make and turn small bills into big bills. So
yeah. And then, you know, just a disclaimer, if anyone's new here, I mean, no one here claims to hit every single thing, and nobody's 100%. Even the best quote unquote cappers who probably don't even use this, they're not hitting at this rate. But just going on what else we hit last night, we had Nick Chubb for 2 touchdowns that also came through. I called in yesterday about, and this is all before the game, by the way, I called in yesterday about Jameis Winston getting his 12th rushing touchdown in week 12. And
12 is a big number in the NFL. 12 is a huge number. The field is 120 yards long. Some of the greatest QBs of all time have worn 12. So yeah, and again, Cleveland equals 78. Home teams come into week 12 on 78 losses, and they stayed there with Cleveland winning. Cleveland kept it on 78, the 12th triangular number, just like the point differential in the 78th NBA Finals was 12. Again, Celtics outscored Dallas by 12. So just recurring patterns, obvious that they're paying tribute to numbers. Go ahead.
And then just adding to that, Jameis Winston has 78 passing yards at halftime. So that was another good sign for him getting his 12th career rushing touchdown, which he did later in the game. Also had Pat Freiermuth to get his 35th reception. He needed 4 last night. He had exactly 4. That was plus 400. I think I had also George Pickens. I saw that he could get 7 receptions to give him 55 prime video number. But just in case, I put him at 6 as well. And he did get that 6. So I paired him and Pat Freiermuth for receptions for plus 2250. So there's another, big play. And, the people who are advertising these cappers, a lot of these people are, playing for minus 100. That's some of their best plays, minus 100, minus 200. And these are their best plays that they're giving out to hundreds of thousands of people.
And charging a lot.
Yep.
And see, a lot of my haters will come up around and be like, if Zach was legit, he wouldn't charge such a low price. And that's, again, I guess I can understand that argument, but people don't understand my mentality. I did this for 5 years for free, and I never got into it for money. And I've always been here to help out people. And if you want to sit on the sidelines and be like, oh, I'm not going to sign up because the price is so low, it kind of just makes you extra stupid. You should have at least tried out, because the entry tag price was very accessible. And that's what also kills me at all these others that sit on the sideline like, is it worth signing up? I mean, why not find out? I made it almost free to find out. And again, had you not been slow to the party, I was here every day for 5 years doing it for free and proving my point in spades. And the funny thing it was a lot easier back then because way less people knew about this.
Yep. I mean, these guys are idiots, right? I mean, this is $5 for all of this work that's put in during the week. And people who discredit the work, they haven't even, they're just coming at you. They're new to the work. They're saying, oh, I don't want to hear about anything you predicted. Predict something right now. And these people don't even know who you are. Like, what kind of a person is that? But just going on, another thing we had yesterday, Jameis Winston, following the pattern of interceptions, got his 103rd interception last night in his 103rd game against Steelers, which equals 103. So, I mean, this is not even week after week. This is day after day. And using the knowledge that you've taught, I mean, I'm able to make easily an extra $200, $300 every weekend. And that's what, free groceries every week. So
yeah, and then you got people out there saying that it's evil. For the person in the chat who asked if you can only use this for sports gambling, you must be new here. No, we've demonstrated how you can use this to take advantage of the rig market, rig crypto. Again, this is the Cabal code. I hear people saying like, I don't get why the Cabal would be doing this. Again, you don't even know what the Cabal means. It comes from Kabbalah, which is where this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from. It's obvious this is the knowledge that they're using, as ridiculous as it might seem. And trust me, there was a time when I read about this. Look again, the timeline for me is 9/11 happened, and I saw there was obvious numerology to 9/11. And then after that, I started to realize there was a lot of numerology rituals going on in the news. I was like, wait a minute. I kept seeing the number 47 all the time. I was like, do they just throw 47 in news stories just to throw it in there? Yeah. For years, I looked at this. And then I found this practice of calling numbers into words, and then lo and behold, the word news itself equaled 47. I said, "Oh my God, news equals 40." No wonder I always see this number in the news. What the hell? They do just throw it in there symbolically. And again, you learn more. You're like, oh, I get it. 47. It's studied by the Masons. The 47th problem of Euclid. Oh wow, look at all the things of authority it's connected to. Oh, it starts to make sense why this nation's birthday is that day, and why all these cornerstones were laid on 47 dates. And I mean, since talking about that, we've gotten to see just but back then I didn't even have the example of being able to go, okay, look now what Biden's done. I mean, we were talking about him taking office with Obama at 47, but now after 47 years of being in the federal government, he becomes the president himself. And then he's got Kamala running by his side to become number 47. And again, don't kid yourself. She very well might still become number 47 if he doesn't finish his term. And again, dumb people will be there like, oh, it didn't happen, so it must all be false. It's like, how dumb do you have to be to arrive at these conclusions? So what? Everybody who padded their pockets for all these years off the knowledge because they missed one thing, then it's all false. I mean, these are the conclusions dumb people arrive at, and you can't fix stupid. What I wonder is why Open Up is commonly the first man up to the plate when I ask for these things when he hasn't even been here that long. Where are the people who've been here for over a decade? It's like all these people turned into my competition and all have their own Patreons trying to emulate my work and now can't even come on and say anything nice. But hey, thanks for being here, Open Up.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's the right thing to do. I mean, you didn't create this, but you led the way in exposing this. And if it wasn't for you, a lot of these people would not even exist. No one would know who these people are. People who have created their own Patreon. Some of them, you know, that's all they're doing now. That's their full-time job is Patreon now because of you. So, I mean, in a way, you have boosted the economy for some people. And
for a lot of people.
yeah.
G-Man Perez. See, I always got losers in the comments like G-Man Perez. G-Man Perez, did I say the fight would go 8 rounds? Because that was a nice big payout. Yeah, I sure did. I said the fight would go out 8 rounds, and I said Tyson had a chance. It did seem kind of far-fetched. But hey, if you took both plays, you made a payday because it going 8 rounds was a payout. And see, it's always losers like G-Man Perez that only want to comment on what was wrong. That's why I call you a loser, G-Man Perez. And I know you are, because only a loser would leave that remark. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of idiots like this guy. I mean, again, nobody claimed that every single thing that you put out is correct.
Right. The point is you would have won. If you would have put a bet on
Exactly.
both things, you would have made a profit that night. Point blank, period. G-Man Perez wants to come here and leave a little stupid comment. I didn't say put a lot on Tyson. I didn't say he was a lock. I said that it's possible he gets that 45th knockout. I also laid out how there could be a rematch, and maybe he shows up better in the rematch because it'll be his 60th career fight, like this was the 60th election, which it was synced with.
Yep. And then, like, I mean, this is there's nothing really difficult about this, what you're doing, but you do need to have some kind of comprehension and reading skills. You know, you need to have a little bit of common sense and some logic, and those are all things that a lot of people are lacking. So when people come in here and say, oh, I lost this, I lost that, I mean, the information is laid out there, and you saw the plays that are there that actually won. So there's no one to blame but yourself. But yeah, Zach, I mean, I've been here, I think it's been 3 years now, and I mean, there's nothing to dispute the work. The receipts are there, and yeah, I appreciate the work.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Open Up. You've definitely become one of the most valuable players in the community. And again, I just wonder, I do wonder where everybody went that used to be around here. It's kind of funny. So
yeah, and then the last thing I'll say is that I mentioned earlier, I mean, you're the one who spearheaded this, pioneered this. I mean, what does it take to come on and give a little bit of credit, you know, to the person that you learned from, the person you're making money off what you learned from them? Come on here for 30 seconds, 1 minute, and say thank you, say something you won. I mean, how hard is that? It's free.
yeah, you would think there'd be more people like that. And again, this is what I also would like you guys to think about. This Chaotic Truth guy, right? He has a small subscriber base, hasn't been around that long. All they do is get on there and make fun of the world and make fun of people and talk shit. And he's just got super chats pouring in. I have a lot of guys thanking me for how much money they made last night. There's been one super chat. Thank you very much, Marilyn Miller. It was a very generous super chat. But again, I always just like wonder how this works. I'm like, how's a guy who's like actually, it's just like a waste of time. You're wasting your time watching somebody talk shit about other people and put down knowledge. It's like there's no, so that's why I look at these channels. I'm like, this can't be real. I mean, like, why is there so much financial support for a bullshit channel like this? And then here's a guy who helped a lot of people make a lot of money last night. And, you know, you'd think for them paying $5 a month, you think there'd be an occasional tip or two that comes in. But yeah, maybe in hindsight, maybe I should have charged a lot more. I mean, wouldn't have helped out as many people. But again, you just see that a lot of people are like ungrateful, can't even come on and say thank you, can't even come on and help rep the work. Sometimes I am really disappointed in the community of people I have helped out. So, but you make it better, Open Up. Thank you.
Yeah, man, I'm just doing what I think is logically the right thing to do and morally the right thing to do. I mean, it didn't cost me any money to come on here and explain how I want money from what you taught me. So much appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah. Always shit talkers in the chat too. Thanks for the 50-50 picks. They've never been 50-50 picks. If that's what you're doing with the work, that's on you.
I mean, if you think 50-50, you got to learn how to read first. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed.
all right. See you,
Indeed.
Zach.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. We got somebody called No Vaseline. No Vaseline.
I'm still trying to figure out the microphone and the camera. Can you come back on me to me in a few?
Sure. Just so you know, your mic is good.
Okay, the camera then.
There should be a toggle where you can turn your mic on and your camera on or off.
Hey, Zach, Hey, Zach. Okay, so who cares about the camera? But thank you. I appreciate you trying to help. So who cares about these people? Like, you need to realize not everybody is going to accept your work. Like, you're always going to have opposition, or people are just haters.
Well, we got to figure out how to persuade more people, because the point of the work is to change the world and get people to wake up to the agenda.
Bro,
I mean,
you want really you want to change the world? You've been at it for 10 years, and how much have you been able to change the world?
Well, I never knew I could do it myself. I mean, I've never thought I could do it myself. I'm saying we have to get more people to help us out in spreading the message, or at least recognize more people to recognize like why that isn't.
Yeah, it's like you're going up against a beast.
So that's why we need more people to help out. There's hardly anyone who helps.
Okay. Sure.
It's just like, you know, that CT panel, he exposes in a way the agents in this community that always hang around and typically want to get up on the screen, the people that always make us look bad, the little Jewish kid from Florida, et cetera, et cetera. These people hang around the community and they make us all look really bad. We need actual adults with good minds who get it to come on and speak, not like weirdo kids and the other losers, the Simple Trolls of the world. I mean, Simple Troll went on there and made the work look absolutely awful and made himself just look like some kind of villain, which he always does. Where are the decent people to help with getting the message out?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, where are they?
So, well, you're on here. So, how have you been helping?
Hold on.
He might come back. I'm trying to think what that is. I recognize his voice. He's definitely called in before. I can't place who it is though. Cam Newton.
What's good, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Not much, man. Long time listener. I just noticed that Kendrick dropped his album today. 79 days to the Super Bowl. Just wanted to see if you had a chance to look into that. On a side note, it is a very fire album, though. It's highly impressed. But yeah, his album just dropped today on JFK Day. So I just wanted to see if you had any insights to something beyond the mainstream
Let's go back and revisit, because he got announced as the halftime performer way earlier than they typically announce the musician.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. When I search Kendrick Lamar, everything comes up but the Super Bowl thing. Let's see. Sometimes I'm only posting things on Twitter and not on my actual site, and then I can't find the post. That is weird, though. I could have sworn. All right. I'm trying to remember what the date was.
September 8th.
I'm seeing headlines from September 8th. Okay, that's the Virgin Mary's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Typically the 251st day, 54th prime, like New Orleans is 54. But all right, so September 8th to today. Check real quick. You're saying his album came out today on the JFK assassination anniversary, huh?
Yes, sir. It's called GNX, like a Grand National. He named it after a car.
Let's see. The NBA Finals ended on his birthday. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what to say about the release. I'd have to look at the songs on there, and honestly, I don't know a whole lot about Kendrick Lamar. I do remember that when he had that song come out, Humble, back then, I think it was Rihanna who got told to sit down when she was yelling out at the finals, and they were playing that song nonstop. It's like they went to outros on commercials.
Yep.
So they've definitely synced him up with the world of sports before. But yeah, I'd have to look more into it. I don't have anything off the top.
Yep. I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. I know it's definitely important.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into it, but I know that you're right. That it's 79 days before the Super Bowl. So.
Yep, something to keep an eye out on. I'm gonna keep pressing on, Zach. You keep doing your thing. Keep exposing the trolls. Just don't give them too much energy, but they do need to be exposed for sure to keep. Because they are like people in the community who might not be fully aware that this person's a troll or not. So no, definitely expose them every chance you get. Yeah, like you, the dude before me was saying like you're pretty much trying to do something impossible by going up against the machine or whatever. I mean, that's the defeated way of thinking. We gotta keep chipping away at the iceberg. Even though it might not look like we're making significant progress, we just gotta keep doing it, Zach, because it might not change in our lifetime, but you got a kid. I got family members that got kids. I want to have kids one day. So it's all about the future. So we got to just keep chipping away at the iceberg, man. And really, it's all human nature anyway. Because, like, let's say we're at a mall and there's an old guy walking and he, like, trips and falls and his briefcase goes flying. Soon as one person goes to help him out, you're going to see a whole shitload of people just swarm over and start helping. So that's how I feel about everything when I think about change. It just takes that one certain person to spark the majority, and it takes a long time for the spark to happen. But once the spark happens, then it shit happens so fast. So let's just keep doing what we do, bro. Just keep pressing forward, keep discovering new shit, keep exposing this shit, just keep getting better, man. That's all I got to say, because that's all we can do. Like the people that run the world, they're not quitting anytime soon. They don't plan on falling off. They're getting better, so we gotta do the same shit, Zach.
All right, I appreciate the message. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, bro.
All right, you too. Take care,
sir.
All right, what's up, King Richard?
Yo, what's good? Is the mic? Can you hear me on the mic?
Your mic is turned up loud. You're blasting. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, I have it set at 200 just to make sure you guys can hear the audio. I just want to hop on here. I wanted to give you a quick decode. Don't know if you caught it, but I know I did. And Caleb Kennedy, look him up. He's in the headlines today on the assassination date of John F. Kennedy getting assassinated. And notice his name, Gematria. It overlaps with Assassin 101 and 61. Today is the 61st year anniversary of John F. Kennedy being assassinated.
Yeah, man. This is what's annoying about the world. It's just like, how doesn't anybody notice like the ritualism that's going on? I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's annoying. It's like, and then people go, I don't even need Gematria. So it's going on. Yeah, I get that. I didn't need Gematria to see what's going on either. But then you learn Gematria and you see how specific the rituals are.
Right.
So say what you just said again about his name.
Oh, his name, right? If you just run the Gematria of his name, look at his name. His name has the 101 and 61, like assassin.
And today's the 61st anniversary of the assassination.
Yeah. I was just pointing that out.
Yeah, the 47. I mean, yeah, assassins the same thing.
And they're saying he got arrested for a DUI, and DUI is 47.
Yeah, on the 61st anniversary.
Right. Oh yeah, and that's also the 18th prime, and JFK. You run the alphabetic order and use numerology. JFK is 18, like IHS.
I hadn't heard anything about this before today.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what? And if you look at TMZ's reporting of it, they're saying that he was most known for season 19.
See, you guys, this is the other thing they always do. They had not only did they have to post on 11/22, they have to post at 11:22 a.m. They got to double down.
Right. Exactly. That's how they do it too, man. That's how I don't get
people who don't know this. Here, just go back to old school. When JFK got killed, it was the 187th year of the nation's existence, and it went down in the history books as the JFK assassination. Notice, with the alphabetic order, it's 187, and with Sumerian gematria, which is multiplying by 6, it's 11.
I was just about to point that out too.
Yeah. So
Hey, but look at that. They have to get it in there that he was he was a part of the American Idol, which is season 19, and 19 is the 8th prime. He's going to jail for 8 years. I mean, come on, man.
Right.
I don't get how people they sit there and be like, I don't get it. What do you not get about mathematics? Like, that's it.
I started talking to it's weird how all the brain dead dummies have the same response rate. They always say things like, well, when you look for patterns, you will find them. Like,
right. Yeah. I hate people who say shit like that. It's like, I don't get what's there not to get about A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. What's so hard about that?
Yeah,
there's nothing hard about that.
And the other thing that's become this, people used to always do this when I first started. They'd throw this word at me, and the CT panels just ran away with this. This is what they decided that we're doing. They think it's apophenia, what we're doing, the tendency to see meaningful connections between unrelated things.
Right. Yeah. No, that's not what we're doing over here. We're not doing that over here.
No. And what I get annoyed about too is how not everyone, but some people, the first instant they hear about this, they come to all these conclusions without even doing any research.
Right.
Yep. It's like, I don't know anything about this, but I already have all these conclusions. It's all a coincidence.
They already have their opinion formulated. They already have their opinion formulated before they even get to know anything. Yeah. That's why I don't waste my time with dumbasses, man. Just tired of them. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
But I figured I'd point that out because I seen that this morning. I'm like, seriously? And then I did catch that they had a post that at 11:22 on 11:22. Master numbers, numerology. Come on, man. But
they gotta put the 5 and the 3 there too, just like JFK number 35 killed on I-35. 5 years behind bars before serving the next 3 years in home detention. So.
Oh, I did want to make a point. His birthday, I did find his birthday. His birthday is October 21st. That means today his 33rd day of his age. And Kennedy's 33.
Today's the 33rd day of his age?
Yeah, today's the 33rd day of his age, and Kennedy's 33. I have a whole post on it on my blog. I did a whole post on it earlier. Yeah, see, October 21st. He's 20 years old. You know what? DUI is also 20, like Assassin's 20.
Yeah. Yep.
But
yep.
I think that's all there was to it. But
yeah, good one as always. You got good eyes for catching these stories that are out there. So I don't know. Yep. Some people, it doesn't matter what evidence you show them. It's just somehow everything's just a coincidence.
Yeah, all this shit cannot be a coincidence. Like literally, I don't
big selections, right? Same people still believing in the sports game. So
yeah, they're the same dummies who'll say, "Why would they rig a sports game and sync it up with the election?"
Indeed.
Yeah, but anyways, that's all I had. Hey, appreciate it, Zach, and fuck these trolls. They're a bunch of nobodies, a bunch of piece of shits. So I heard gas station attendant. He's getting sued.
Yeah, no, the people that run Truth Refugee who syndicate my work, they don't like that he took their trademark and started doing his weirdo memes because it is a registered trademark and you're not allowed to use it without permission. And
Right.
they're gonna, well, he's gonna be crying here. He's gonna create a new account and cry and say he lost another account. 'Cause that's gonna be the minimum that's gonna happen. Is gonna lose your account.
I mean, isn't that what he always does, right? He just goes in his hole and starts crying,
Blaming everybody for the things he's doing. Yeah, that's what he does.
Fuck that guy. And I know he's out here watching, and I know his little buddies are sitting there screen recording, watching. Fuck them, and shame on people who go over there and are like, "Oh yeah, you're the truth." The same three cocksuckers in his channel too. They're just laughing at him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all I had to say. Hey, I appreciate you letting me on here, man. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm gonna make it a point to call in all the time, so keep an eye out there.
All right, appreciate it, King Richard. Thank you.
All right, see ya.
See you, man. Marilyn Manson released an album today too. Marilyn Manson, when Trump was first becoming president, that's when he put out that "Say 10" song where Trump gets assassinated, and they've been doing all these parallels with Trump and both Kennedys. Marilyn Manson again, 55 years old right now. Satan, 55. He's a member of the Church of Satan. How many albums does Manson have? What a unbelievable. Okay. One assassination under God. And remember, the say 10 chorus is when you say God, I say 10, and God and Satan both equal 55 and 10. And again, 55 is the 10th triangular number and the 10th Fibonacci number. But it was first suggested they record this album May 16th, 2023. That is the 136th day of the year. That's the 16th triangular number on the 16th, like it was 2016 that they put out Say 10. I forget. Marilyn Manson's birthday is right at the beginning of the year. I forget what day it is. January 5th. So today's 322 days after Marilyn Manson's birthday, old 322. It's his 12th studio album. Interesting. Again, Trump's 78 years old right now, the 12th triangular number. Kennedy, 78. 917 wants to phone in rather than join the stream. What's up, 917?
Yeah, just a reminder, tomorrow leaves 38 days left in the year. You know what they do. So
Yeah.
keep the heads up.
Yeah, indeed.
Remember where you heard it first, everyone. Have a good night, Zach. Thank you.
All right, yeah, welcome. Thank you. Is there a way to see the track listing for this? One Assassination Under God, title track, first track on the album. No Funeral Without Applause. That's 406 in length, like Kennedy, number dead at 46. Not If You Understand, 405. Reminds me of the July 13th ritual, 45 days after JFK's birthday anniversary. As Sick as the Secrets Within, 535 in length. Sacrilegious, 335 in length. Death Is Not a Costume, Meet Me in Purgatory, Raise the Red Flag, Sacrifice of the Mass. Reminds me about Kobe traveling from Catholic Mass. Right now, the album has a 5 out of 5 rating. Okay. I had the wrong thing up. I don't know if there's something more to that 282 number than we've let on. The only time I ever remember talking about 282 is Benjamin Netanyahu equals 282, and the war started 282 days after his birthday. The full title, because it is also chapter 1. It's interesting that it's 138. Donald Trump's 138. Federal 138. 322, Order 322 is Skull and Bones, and it's a reminder that George Herbert Walker Bush was there in Dallas the day that JFK got smoked. And remember, he was number 41. Skull and Bones is 41. Dallas is 41. Okay. All right, we got Jay with open eyes. What's up, Jay?
Hey, what's up? Were you just on? I don't know if you were on his stream today, but I didn't on there. But I was thinking about what you were saying. I wasn't gonna. I'm not. If I do get back on there, because I was saying I wasn't gonna get back on there because it was obvious that they were just being like disingenuous. But I'm guessing like the reason why you still do it is because you're trying to wake up
Well,
their
there's other
chat,
people out
basically.
there listening, right? There's other
Yeah,
people
like it's
out
the
there
people in
listening.
the
You're not
chat.
going to get through to the panel because the panel, I mean,
Yeah,
there's something that
but
doesn't make sense about that channel. How can you be
yeah,
that small of a channel and that well-funded doing what you're doing? Essentially what he is
exactly,
he's a self-loathing black man. He gets on there and talks shit about black people and is well compensated for it. And
exactly.
he's
He
another one of
literally.
these black guys for Donald Trump. So go ahead, Jay. I don't know if his signal dropped out or what. Are you there, Jay? Well, for one reason or another, we cannot hear him right now. Good one, Amy.
What the
I see
hell?
Amy's observation about the death of Isaiah Thomas. Now I can hear you, Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah, it must have been my headphones, but yeah, it's just I probably will. I guess to wake up like the people in this chat because I did see some people in the chat like seeing what I was saying when I jumped in there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just the people. It's like we shouldn't even be getting on there to try to like talk to them, but just to the chat, just to expose the panel in the BS that they're on and stuff like that. Like it's just so obvious that these people are disingenuous, and you like did you get to the part where one guy was they were I was like they were like, oh, you're just connecting things to, it must be a real talent to just connect two random things together with a random number. So then I asked the guy, I'm like, okay, how did I connect two things together with a random number? Can you explain that? Then the guy was
Right.
like,
Just
he was
here,
like,
just don't know what you did. You went on there and you slowly explained the significance of George Herbert Walker Bush talking about a new world order and world freer of terror 11 years to the day of 9/11 with all the 11s in 9/11, including
yeah,
mistakes like AA11, the billions looking like an 11, et cetera, et cetera. And then the one dude's response was essentially like, well, listen, man, you know, I mean, there's only so many spaces on or keys on the
yeah.
keyboard. It's like,
It was like,
true.
it was like if the Bible says if you shall seek and you shall find. I'm like, that's your response to, because I brought up the amalgam Virgo
But
simulation
Jay,
right
when
before
they
that.
do
I'm
that,
like,
that's where you get better as you get older. That's where you got, yeah, chic and you shall find
yeah,
the answers and not be left on like just stupid, like, oh, just everything's a coincidence,
yeah.
which is where their level of intelligence is at.
Yeah,
No,
I get that. I get that. Like, but I that guy was just, he was like trying to start chaos. He was like, he wouldn't even let me finish talking. He just kept interrupting me. You seek, you shall find. You seek, you shall find. I'm like, I can't even finish the sentence. And then he got back on, and I was still being calm. And then he just automatically started calling me out my name, saying, "Hey, you, why you keep letting this?" I'm trying not to curse because I know what you said because of the baby and stuff. But he was like, "Why you keep letting this this BAN speak and stuff like that. So it's like these people are just trying to be like disingenuous. And then the guy was
He
like,
doesn't have his face on the screen, right? He's trying to talk all this stuff
yeah,
in multiple
exactly. He was like, I'll smack you. I'm like, you already threatened me, and I ain't even said nothing about you. I'm like, then the other guy was like, you said a bridge was gonna you said a bridge collapsed in New Zealand. I'm like, that's not what I said. Like, he's clearly not listening. Like,
Right.
it just clearly just again, just it really just it's people. If anybody had a brain and they watched that chat, they should have like saw. And I saw there were some people that had a brain, so that's that would be the merit to doing it. But people should be able to see like easily that these people are that panel is full of nothing but disingenuous people, like
And the other thing
just
I'm going to see
really
is
low
there are all these
IQ.
paid for people on YouTube that are just like here to spread misinformation and like literally spread
Yeah,
chaos.
exactly.
And just like
Exactly.
a racist black guy. It's like, is he broadcasting from the Clayton Bigsby radio network? I mean, no, it really is kind of gross. But the one thing that I do like about the host is he's honest. He says, listen, I'm an exploitationist. I'm only a capitalist. I'm only here for money. But he says he's honest, and I mean, he's honest about all those things, but I don't think he's being
Yeah,
honest when he's just like looking at what we're doing.
he
It's like,
dishonest
man, that's
about.
crazy, but it's
Yeah,
still all bullshit. It's like, that's not an
yeah.
honest response. I'm sorry.
That's exactly what he was doing when I pointed all that stuff out about 9/11. He was like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. Construction did start on the Pentagon on September 11th. I didn't know that. I still think it's bullshit." I'm
That's
like,
exactly what he does every time. He's
like
like, wow,
what?
that's crazy. That's still bullshit, though. It's like,
Yeah,
hey, man.
exactly. It's like again, it just shows what these people are like. It just so and then it's like I can always predict the arguments that people are going to like give. And I know and I do know that a lot of people, even if they know that it's true, they do struggle with debunking the very easy to debunk arguments that the masses might throw at them. Like I see a lot of people get hung up on the prediction aspect. Don't even entertain, like, even though we have predicted so many things, way more things than other people ever fucking have, but don't we I wouldn't even entertain that, because when police officers are trying to figure out, or when police officers or detectives figure out that there's a serial killer on the loose, do they need to predict when the next victim is going to die and who is going to be in order to prove that there's a serial killer? All they have to look at is that a group of people have been killed all back to back in the same exact fashion. Okay, so they come to the very logical conclusion that there must be a serial killer on the loose, because the odds of all these people being killed the same exact way in the same exact fashion back to back by different people is extremely improbable. That's the same thing that we're doing. Pattern recognition. We're just recognizing that every single big event is being coded out by the same pattern and is happening in the same pattern. That is, it's like you don't need to predict when the next one is going to happen. All you need to know, you know enough. All you need to know is that, okay, if all these things were planned out, then they're going to plan out another one. Just like when police officers see that there's a serial killer on the loose. Well, if we don't stop this serial killer, then somebody else is going to get killed. We don't need to predict the next person, when the next person is going to die or get killed by the serial killer, in order to prove the like these people that use this stuff. You could just tell that people are just so programmed, because they never apply the same logic to anything that they see on the news or to the or anything that they hear about. It's just they've been programmed to want to say things about us. Like when people are like, "Why would they do this?" Okay, when the news tells you that somebody shot up a school or shot up a mall or shot up a movie theater, do you ask the news, well, why would anybody do this? Even though most people, yeah, we can't fathom why somebody would do that, but people still do this. We know that people still have the ability to do a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, if you watch
The
true
reason
crime
they do
stories,
everything, though, there's an answer to why
yeah,
they do what they do. They do everything.
that too. But
There's
I'm just
a
saying, even if we
solution.
didn't know it, it's not an
Yeah.
argument.
Almost
Yeah,
everything they do is either to take away your rights and liberties or to
yeah,
give you another tax and bill so you can send them even more money. I mean,
yeah.
almost everything
That's
they do boils down to those two
exactly.
things.
Exactly. I was just showing how these people don't even apply the same logic to what they hear on the mainstream. They don't even realize how they don't even use that same logic. But
Right.
yeah, I mean these
So,
arguments are very easy to debunk.
yeah. Well, and then the other thing is when you keep blowing somebody's mind and you can tell it, and then they keep going, man, that's crazy, and they're like, but I still think all this is bullshit. It's like, okay, so, but then the guy says in his own words, he says, "You're never going to make me believe," and that's because whatever's standing behind him is just that's not the point of his show. The point of his show is to
Yeah.
shit on black people
And
as
use
a
that
black
Trump
man
money.
himself and be another black guy for Donald Trump. So
And use that Trump money. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
finna get off here though. I'm finna go to sleep. But I just wanted to say that I see
all
a
right,
lot of
Jay.
people getting hung up on very easily debunkable arguments that aren't arguments at all. So I just want to throw that in there.
All right, yeah, you did a good job on there, Jay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
All right, take care, man. All right. Yeah, I think also part of the problem is I don't know what the problem is with why more people don't come on here. There's a lot of people in this community, and almost nobody ever comes on here, uh, which is disappointing. There's a lot of people that come on here and say thank you, or help speak up for the work. Again, there's a lot of this. They want to come on Patreon, get the information, pad their pockets, and can't ever come back and say anything. I might have to make the price a lot higher. These people don't tip. They can't come on and say nothing. We might have to put the price up, and then the critics won't have anything to say either. Like, why are you only charging so little? Well, I was trying to help out people, but I guess after 10 years, I finally realized they don't really want to give anything back. So finally made the price fair. I mean, I have people in my community that just copy my work and then go on and sell it on their Patreon for $100 a pick, because some people will just, the way the algorithm is, they'll come across another channel before they come across mine. But yeah, it does get disappointing that very few people come on and say anything. Do they need to force a microchip? I mean, what do they need to force a microchip for? Everyone's carrying around this thing in their pocket. What else do they need to do? I mean, they might eventually do it, but do they need to? I mean, this thing's the same thing. Who's detaching themselves from this thing? Thing's better than the microchip. Thank you in the chat, you guys. That's nice. But the thing is, have you noticed the chats aren't here once the live stream posts? All we're going to see is a guy going like, again, it's just, I don't know. It's disappointing. Done a lot for the world, and there's very few people out there that really do anything back. Sometimes I do wish I could just rewind the clock and keep all the knowledge to myself. Still be going over 90% with my picks. Ungrateful world, didn't deserve it. So probably never would have lost my business. Big safe of cash. Again, take note, people. I mean, in a way, we do have to do better and help the world, but at the same time, I don't know if this world deserves it. All these religious people that just want to see it go, they think it's already a foregone conclusion. I don't know. Maybe they are right. Maybe they are correct. I don't know if I'm speaking English. I'm saying, come on the stream. Come on the stream. This guy who does a panel each day of just getting on and just shitting on people and being a self-loathing black man, he has people come on and contribute and say things. I don't know why it's so hard to get people to come on here. And like DK Stonewood just hopped on. I don't know if I necessarily want to bring DK Stonewood on. DK usually gets on here and starts shitting on people in the community. And, I never seen DK on Patreon. I never seen DK donate $1 to this work. You know. So I don't know that DK is exactly who I want to bring on. 917, I don't know why you keep calling on. You're in the chat. Why not join the stream rather than call in? 917. Hello?
Yeah, I got one more. You still streaming, right, Zach?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I got one more thing. I read today that they was announcing the first millennial saint, that they was inducting some kids into sainthood today. Which
Uh-huh.
I thought was pretty fitting because today has 77 days in a row, you like Christ, and leaving 39 days left in a year. The Old Testament has 39 books. So I was like, it was pretty fitting for him to do that. And then I matched his birthday from his death is 163 days. So it looked like it was a murder by numbers. And I think from today, anyway, it was interesting. And that's all I want to say. People could look into that if they wanted to decode it even more. Follow?
Yeah, I follow.
Makes sense, right? 39 books in the Old Testament, 77, 80 like Christ.
Indeed, it makes sense.
I just thought it was interesting, but maybe that's not for everybody. But thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Okay. Well, I'm just going to leave it there. It's Zachary K. Hubbard versus the world. And again, you guys should take note. I mean, there's so many of this like viral channels that don't produce any real information that gives you, it just misleads you. Tim Pool, for example, great example. Super viral guy. Why is he famous? He's ugly as hell. He's not that smart. He supposedly started with the Occupy movement, which was resisting government, and now he's a big Republican. But just crazy funding, nothing interesting, nothing cutting edge, no information that's ever going to benefit you in any way. All his information is ever going to do is make you succumb to a system that's meant to manipulate you and exploit you. That's what he does. And again, I mean, I'm being somewhat facetious. That's why these people are well funded, because they serve the machine. But in a way, it's just like, if you're not serving the machine, you're not getting any recognition. You're not getting the funding. It's just like, if you're a legit person in this world, you're just, nobody gives a shit. Yeah. Bad look, you guys. All the people that just stayed out there and didn't come on and say anything. It's sad. It's sad. You guys make the critics look like they're right. In my phone, I got your guys' betting slips. Thank you. One again. Where are all of you guys? Not one of you guys can come on. Thanks, Zach. Turned 5 and 260 last night. I got like 50 of those. Not one of you 50 people are going to come on tonight and talk about it. Super annoying. T.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm probably not gonna be on topic. I was gonna bring up the Kendrick Lamar album that he dropped today.
Okay.
The title of the album is called GNX, and it's the same gematria as the Super Bowl that's coming up. If you type in LIX, it's the same gematria across both some of the ciphers. And then if you type in Fox, which the Super Bowl is gonna be played on Fox, it's the same as some of the ciphers. And his label PG Lane, it equals to 105, like the 105th season.
All right, I do see that. That's interesting. New Orleans equals 45 as well, where the Super Bowl is this year.
Yeah, I can't look at my notes right now because it might cut off, but I put all of that. It's a whole bunch of 45s plus Mardi Gras too. I think equals 45 too. That's what they usually have. Mardi Gras is in New Orleans.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I see that. PJ Lang, 24 like the year, 105 like the season number. Interesting.
Yeah, and whoever wins the Super Bowl is going to get the 30th Super Bowl win.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't matter. AFC or NFC are tied at 29 Super Bowls. Whoever wins gets 30.
That's why I feel like well, I have a lot of stuff written down for the Chargers. They have a good narrative to go to the Super Bowl to me. But it being tied at 29 when they played in Super Bowl 29, almost basically 29 years ago from the Super Bowl all the way into the start of the season. and the Super Bowl is on the 29th day of the year. It'll be a good feel good story. If
Well,
the
it's on
NFL
2/9, right? It's on the 40th day of the year.
No, yeah, that exactly. The date of the Super Bowl is on 2/9, but when they last played in the Super Bowl in 1995, it was on the 29th day of the year.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Exactly, and it was Super Bowl 29, and it was 29 years ago if you count from that Super Bowl to the start of this year. And it'll be a great feel good story of both Harbaugh brothers that's playing this week, playing the win their first Super Bowl in the same stadium.
Yeah, that Super Bowl was on the 34th day of the year, and Maryland, the Ravens won with 34 points. Like they won both their Super Bowls with 34 points. And again, Maryland's also 47, like John's 47. John beat Jim.
Yeah, I got a lot more notes about it, but yeah, the Saints and the Chargers game 105 days before the season, pretty crazy. All the rituals they had in that, plus even last Sunday with the Chargers and the Bengals, the only 105 team of the NFL. All the stuff they had going on in that game, if you look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's really all I had to bring up about it was the Kendrick Lamar situation. He just dropped the album today.
All right. Appreciate the observations. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care. For the person who keeps spamming in the chat, decode JFK faking his death. I got a book about all of the Kennedy deaths, the Kennedy curse. Again, I don't know that he faked his death. He might have. Kennedy curse, 144 and 54, like Jesuit order. Dealey Plaza and Ambassador Hotel, both 54. RFK dead at 1:44 a.m. JFK dead 144 days from meeting with the Pope. And remember, JFK met with the Pope on 7/2. And again, Ambassador Hotel has some of the other numbers as well. It's 153 and 54, like Jesuit order. Dealey Plaza, 154. We talked about the Celtics winning with 108 today. But yeah, I mean, if you're spamming in the chat, decode JFK's death. I mean, I've decoded JFK's death like probably, I don't know, I've been here for over 11 years. We talk about it every year. Yeah. Go buy the book and read all about it. All right, the nation's favorite Steelers fans in the chat. What's up, 510?
I'm just coming in here. What's up, Zach? Thanks for pulling me up. I'm just coming in here just to advocate. I'm one of the bettors. I've seen my percentage shot up ever since I've joined the Patreon. Like you said, I wish more of us would come up to just like so we can have it on the record. This is the only channel that I've ever seen where a live stream would end and the chat disappears. I don't know why YouTube does that. I don't even get it. This is the only channel that I've ever seen on YouTube be deleted 25 times. Okay? Zach is the guy. Like, he's the man. I'm just coming here advocating, man. Like, just like last night, just like Thursday night football, we made literally what was that? 5 calls for 5 prop bets that came through. What was it like, about 5 prop bets that came through?
We knew that Chubb was the golden ticket, and of course the trolls were spamming that I didn't have anything about Chubb last night, which is just impossible. We were talking about Nick Chubb 3 days before the game came around. So.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not gonna say all the gems that we say in there, but like I'm just putting this down for the record, man. Like this is the guy. This guy's no fraud. This is the guy. The people that try to combat this dude, those are the paid for trolls. Those are the paid for agents. We even have bookies in our Patreon chat coming to fuck up. Even like, come on, my bad. You know, I don't want to have the negative. My bad, Zach. Yeah, you told us. I mean, I gotta respect. I know it's gonna be hard, but I gotta watch those cuss words. But y'all, like, I'm just coming here to advocate, man. That's all I'm coming here to do, Zach. I'm gonna be one of the ones to come up. I know a lot of us. I don't know why a lot more people aren't coming up to advocate just to put it on the record. I see a lot of people in here from the Patreon, but yeah, man, I'm coming here, man, advocate for you, Zach, bro. I'm always gonna be here, man. This has been about 8 years I've been with Zach, man, and this dude has never been wrong. He's literally
that's not true. I mean,
not
we're
never,
wrong, but we're right a lot more than we're wrong. And our major point that the game is rigged by this knowledge is absolutely right. And you haven't seen anybody ever come with any kind of real debunk of that.
like never. The people that I've thought that were actually with it, they were shills, and I honestly was fooled for a second. I thought they were about that, and they weren't. Like the dude, what's that dude named Pharaoh something? He talks a lot.
Are you talking about Young Pharaoh?
Yeah, that dude. And I was just like, and then I think it was around 2016 in the finals. I was watching one of his videos, and then your video was under him recommended. And then you were live streaming, you had like 1,000 people or something like that. And then that's when you were like, it was jumping before the censorship happened. And that's when I just got right in there, right there. And then you would always talk about the Patreon, but I didn't get what you were saying back then. And then like I finally looked at the description and went to the Patreon and signed up. And then that's when everything changed for me. Like, yo, like not spiritual, like so Illuminati, he's not possibly, I don't think, have you ever heard of him before, Zach? So Illuminati?
Well, Spiritual Soul put a lot of people onto this work because when Kobe died, he did a video saying everybody needed to research Gematria.
Yeah. So, and he's from 2K. He's from the 2K community and stuff like that. So that's what, so. But yeah, Zach, and he was talking about, I mean, this is the guy, bro. Like, I'm putting this I'm saying this for the record, y'all. Like, this dude is no fraud, man. They hate this guy. The deep state, the agents, they hate this guy because he's exposed it all. He's exposed it so much that they literally took away college football stats. They literally took, what do you say, Zach? They took like what?
Yeah, they took all the data out of college football reference and college basketball reference. Yeah.
Like, if that doesn't say anything, bro, I don't know what else you guys need for proof.
You guys, we eliminated 5 dimes, a major sports book. Because that was when I was still getting views. And that's part of the reason we're not getting views anymore, because we've been doing things like that. We had everybody on that Lakers future before Anthony Davis even got there.
It's just like, man, and then if that's not, like, I don't know, man. I just wish some more people will come up just to advocate more, just for the record. Because it's like, it just sucks because like it's so much banger comments in the chat, but it's like once this video ends, none of the chat will be here. And I've never seen that before. And it's just like, I don't know what platform we got to get on for this to stick. I mean, even on TikTok, they kind of, I see like one page finally in my algorithm. I've seen one, like a page finally with kind of like a lot of your videos talking about Gematria and stuff like that, and little clips finally, like the first time ever. But yeah, man, Zach's no fraud, man. He's the real deal. He is fucking legit. But I mean, well. All right, Zach, I'm gonna get off. I don't want to keep cussing, man. But he's legit, man. All right, man. I'm listening. I'm in the back, man.
All right, appreciate it, 510. Take care. Well, what's up, 559?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Just calling in, man. I couldn't believe that nobody was calling in, so I had to call in. I usually don't call in on StreamYard, and I was just worried about putting my name out there right now.
Don't put your name out there. Yeah, don't put your name out there.
Yeah, I was even worrying about putting my area code out there, but kind of got to represent it.
Anything out there? You could have called yourself ABC123.
Yeah, my bad, man. But I just want to say congrats too about the the little one you've been calling it.
Thank you.
But I mean, I can't really call in to talk about sports, but I mean, I just want to say thanks. I mean, you put out a lot of knowledge out there, and I decode some stuff myself. My favorite one was Eminem. Recently, he announced his daughter's pregnancy on October 3rd, and Eminem equals 103.
Yeah. Somebody in our community just pointed out that they've been drawing parallels with Joe Burrow and his new hairstyle to Eminem. And if you guys look, Joe Burrow was born on the first anniversary of Eminem's first EP. Yeah, look that up.
Wow. Okay. There's this story on CNN right now about a Lions team and about how they've set a record within 63 years. But today's exactly 41 weeks before the Super Bowl. So I don't know if there's a connection right there.
Say it one more time.
On CNN, there's this story about a college football team, but they're called the Lions, and it had the number 63 in the headline, just going with the JFK anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah, it just broke recently, so I don't know if you want to take a look at it. So.
All right. Hey, so Tachi texted over that JFK's Secret Service name was Lancer, and the Lancers had a huge upset today in college basketball. That's interesting.
But I was going to ask if you're like thinking about like doing this panel type of thing like in the future for like future episodes or something.
Well, I mean, I've done it plenty of times in the past. It's just there's never that much participation, and it's usually the same suspects, and a lot of the same suspects are people I'd rather not even have on. So, yeah, I would like to do it more. It's just we've got to get other people to participate.
I mean, yeah, if you're thinking about doing like consistently, like I would love to be a participator. You know, just to talk to Gematria or things we find in the news or just to catch up or something.
All right, yeah, we'll do that. All right,
This was
but hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah, man.
All right, have a good night. All right. Tachi hop back on. I think he wants to talk about this Lancer thing.
Yeah. Hey, Zach. I just thought it was interesting. First of all, thank you for the work. Appreciating you teaching me how to turn $1 into, a few hundred. And just the kind of way it's undeniable. And then also, not to kind of bank on something happening. Like you're very good about that. Good risk management. So appreciate that. But yeah, if you look, JFK's code name is Lancer. And so the Longwood Lancers were like a 6.5-point underdog today. And they became 6-0 as the coach got his 115th win. And we just had all those kind of JFK parallels with the assassination and the shooting, but
for people who forgot, the Trump July 13th hoax was 115 days before the election on 1/15. The 60th election, assassin is 115, like killing. I'm forgetting something right now. Was it 100? Is it 115 days from JFK's birthday to the assassination?
I
forget.
His birthday is the 114th day. I don't think so.
No, it wouldn't make sense, right? Yeah. I feel like there is something at 115 in his death, but I cannot place what it is right now.
Huh. But yeah, it's just, it's like a school like Longwood. This is how, it's kind of like a meaningless, unranked college basketball game, but, they're still paying tribute. It's kind of sad. It's like you can't even tell who's the best player or, what it would be like without the manipulation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it's just annoying about how many things in our world are manipulated. It's like even the stuff that's made to be famous and viral that doesn't deserve to be, like all these little girls growing up listening to Taylor Swift. I mean, how many way better musicians are out there that get no recognition?
Or the Gorilla Glue psyop they did. Remember that story? It's like, that's an example of just, there's probably dumb stuff that happens all the time, but like everyone probably knows what I'm talking about. And of course they do that during Black History Month. But yeah, I still think it would be interesting if we saw Biden, go on, even step down kind of a week after his birthday, because that 827, it would be like he'd be 82 years old and 7 days old, kind of like that 144 has been, just so big with him and Trump and the Jesuit order and even
Remember,
Kennedy.
the day before Thanksgiving, Kamala's Indian is 201 weeks after they took office, and it's also 38 days after her birthday. So,
and yeah, I remember your initial prediction was like it would be a 12/29 pattern. And, if it was like a 201 weeks after, you would have to be very disingenuous to like just dismiss that and be like, oh, that's not related at all. It's like, it's very hard to nail an exact day, but you're talking about the same type of number, the 201.
Well, remember what happened instead was Michelle Obama's mom died. And then we got the first female president of Mexico by the numbers.
Yeah. Yep. And, I see. So it's interesting. I mean, Gerald Ford, it'll probably be synced up with him. It'll probably be like 201 days from the anniversary.
Well, that's the other thing. If it ends up being that Biden resigns, Biden became a senator in the same election that Nixon became president, who did resign. And he resigned on the day, leaving 144 days left in the year. So.
I see. Yeah, it's their same scripts. I mean, but you will have these kind of trolls like, Brian Young and that other guy just kind of joking about the 144. And who's the other guy? Simon Dan. He ran a race. He's like, oh, 201. I mean, they don't even hide it. Yeah.
Yeah, Simon Dan stopped taking shots at the work. He must have realized he wasn't winning. So
Yeah, no, they definitely put a leash on these guys, but yeah, appreciate the work, and I'll continue to kind of support here in the background. Been on the Patreon probably since August 2020. I know I haven't really been super chatting lately. That's kind of just the economy and this inflation. But yeah, I appreciate you sharing the knowledge and not be, some people would just hoard it to themselves, not share anything. And if it like you've had these retards say, if it actually works this way, why would you share it? That's a satanic, selfish mindset. And at your heart, you're a teacher. So good job, and keep it up.
all right, man. Appreciate it. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. See ya.
For the person spamming away in the chat, I don't know if you're a real person or not, or just a troll, but spamming that that every celebrity fakes their death. How can you know that? Do you want to be a credible person, or do you want to be somebody who people roll their eyes at? Why are you talking about how every celebrity fakes their death? Really? I mean, where's your proof? Stick to things that you can prove, not make claims that, and you just wrote that JFK's wife's Jesuit educated. Now, as far as I know, where's the proof for that, too? You can prove that the Jesuit order equals 177 and he died 177 days after his birthday. You can prove that. Unless, or he faked it, which is possible. But what's up, Jay?
Yeah, my bad for calling back in. I just wanted to throw in this last bit about JFK is that I didn't even realize, because the funny thing is I bet today, and I had bet on the Nuggets, but then I'm like, why are the Nuggets losing? And then I remembered it's the anniversary of JFK's assassination in Dallas. The Mavericks play for Dallas. Mavericks equals 61. It's the 61st anniversary, and they can make the Nuggets there 61 home wins. I'm like, oh shit. I didn't even catch that, but that's just another joke that they're doing with JFK.
Well,
Today.
the game's not over. I'm looking at what's going on in the game right now. They are down 17 in the third. If the Nuggets do rally and win that game, they will get their 1963rd regular season win, like JFK died in 1963.
Yeah, that's true too. You could just that's another thing that just lets you know how much of a tribute they're doing to this shit. But yeah, now it makes sense. If they do win it, now it makes sense. I'm like, fuck. I didn't see that shit till after I placed the bet, but yeah, I just want to throw that in there.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, every year they're going to pay tribute with these games to history. It's what they do day in and day out. Why are you asking me to read your comments when I'm dropping links to join the chat? I mean, if you got something to share, the thing to do would be to join the stream and share the information. I drop whatever you want me to share. I just dropped the link. You can come on and share it. Jason D says, check out the book Stand on Zanzibar. All right. Well, Micah Chambers, you spamming away in the chat, you literally represent the stereotype of what people think of when people question mainstream media. Like, oh yeah, that Micah Chambers guy. Have you heard him? He says that every celebrity's made in a lab. All of them have faked their deaths. He knows it. Like, proof for anything you're saying? I mean, it's all possible. It's within the realm of possibility. But where's the proof? What's the point of just talking nonsense? Oh, 510 want to hop back on. What's up, 510?
I just want to say real quick, just again, Zach might call it, not might, but he said the Sabres game might go overtime. It's tighter now. It's looking like it might go in overtime. It's the end of the second. It's still tied 2-2, man. It's
All
just
right,
like,
we'll see what happens. We'll see what
but
happens. Whole period left.
yeah, but the game's been like they were at one. It was 1-0 for so long. I think it's gonna be a good defensive. This third quarter gonna be good. Oh, what the hello? I don't know if it
You
cut out.
broke out. You disconnected for a second.
Oh, I was saying I've been watching the game. It's been a real defensive game, so I was saying it's looking like it's gonna go overtime. And the fact that you call it's not shocking, but yeah, just another example.
Well, we've been able to identify hockey overtime games a lot, and skeptics will say, "Well, a lot of hockey games go to overtime."
Yeah,
but yeah, we've been able to call them at a high percentage rate based on what the points are. If a team can only get 1 point in an overtime loss and it lines up with the opponent, you will see a lot of those games go to overtime. For real, now how hockey works. If you win the game, you get 2 points. If you lose in regulation, you get 0. If you lose in overtime, you get 1. So, like, if a team comes in 1 point shy of the gematria that matches with the opponent, it's like they might very well lose in overtime. And again, there's decent odds for a game going to overtime.
How about that, trolls? Nah, all right, Zach.
All right, man. Thanks, 510. All right. All right. Appreciate the recommendation, Jason D. I'm going to wrap this thing up. But yeah, this Caleb Kennedy thing on the anniversary of the JFK assassination. I mean, you literally just can't make it up. And yeah, I did say season 19 of American Idol. That is the 8th prime number. So, all right. We'll leave it there for now. And until next time, have a good night, all.